Hi. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. Look at all of my YouTube fam. You guys, I've missed you so much. It's been way too long. Way too long. It's so good to see you. Evelyn, Ruby, Jan, Colleen, my love. Ashley's here. Everybody's here. Oh my gosh. I've missed you so. Oh, Facebook's in the house now. Debbie's here. Hi, everybody. How's everybody been? Diana's here. Albert's here. He's trying to get my attention. Like, really? I just started. Okay. You can tell everybody hi if you want to. I did not ask him to join. He's just, I guess he missed you guys too. I don't know. Never does that. Unless I ask him to. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. It's so good to see everybody. Oh my gosh, you guys, it has been so long. So long. It's been a whole week. Like, what? A whole week. He has a sweatshirt over the top of his head now. I don't know what's going on with Albert. Oh, what a mess. He's so silly. So, I've missed you guys. I missed you guys so much. Thank you so much for everybody last week for looking out for me and, you know, being patient with me. Because you guys know I don't take off unless I have to. I just don't. I absolutely cannot stand to be down. It is not something that makes anybody happy, I don't guess. But for somebody like me who is one of those people who like, I'm constantly working, like, and part of it is because I work from home. So work is like always here. So if I have a free minute, I'm always in here in my office. I'm always working. I'm always thinking, I'm always doing, like, I'll lay in bed at night and I'm thinking about projects and thinking about what the kits are going to be. And I don't like it when I'm down and I'm told that I can't do. And honestly, if I hadn't have been told that I couldn't do, I would have still been here last week. It's not a secret. It's not a secret, you guys, I had COVID. Actually, it's Sam says we're COVID twins because Sam sent me his, oh my gosh, I have COVID text message. And like 24 hours later, I sent him an, oh my gosh, I have COVID text message. So Sam and I were sick together. We commiserated together. He was a little bit ahead of me. So he got well a little faster than I did. But we were pretty much down and out right at the same time. And you guys know, it started with a migraine. It started with a migraine because I don't know if you guys remember or not, but that last Friday, I was sick. Like my head was busting, and then I got very sick. But I'm better. I'm better now. I'm all good. Like I still have a little bit of congestion, like just a little bit of runny nose. But for the most part, I'm feeling much better. I know Sam is feeling much better. Everybody here, it went through the house. So yeah, I had somebody who was very, very good to me and took very good care of me. And I'll just let y'all know who took good care of me. But yeah. And then the doctor was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to work. You have to go to bed. So, when this person heard the doctor say that, then I was pretty much, I was done. Otherwise I would have been here. I would have been working no matter what, but the doctor said, and then Q said, and everybody was like, no, you really need to like do what the doctor said. I'm really bad about that, but I had to take this one seriously. So I did. And now I'm better for it. So yay, for anybody out there who's sick or has been through it or who's going to go through it, you'll get through it. I promise. It wasn't fun, but Janela said Q is so sweet. He is so sweet. Like, I got a good one, that's for sure. Yay, Jessica said she had it in April. So I wasn't going to tell anybody I didn't tell anybody last week. Only a few people knew. Q obviously knew, Sam knew, Neela knew. But for the most part, I kept it to myself. I wanted to wait until I was well before I was like, oh, by the way, you know what I had. So yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so let's move on. Let's move on. I'm ready to move on. I don't want to think about that anymore. I don't like to be sick, and I like 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Number 2, after all of that, I apologize for the dogs barking. I know that my dogs bark on a regular basis, and you guys are pretty much used to it, but there are actually some workers here that are doing some things outside the house today, and the timing is just bad. So the dogs are going to lose their mind several times today. I apologize. They just can't help themselves. They're doing what dogs do. We're just going to ignore them. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, let's get to it. Right? Katie said she avoided it for almost 2 years. Me too. It had gone through my house once before, and I avoided it. This time, it was after me this time. So this week is a pretty normal week. I am, hey, I'm going to shut the door. Hold on. They want to bark. They can do that out there, but I can't handle all of that. Hey, you have to behave yourself. Okay, so did I get it through the mail? No. Sam was like, it's text messaging. Because, like, you know, Sam's across the country. He's in California, and I'm here in Tennessee. And it's like, how are we sharing this germ? How are we both sharing this germ? We share everything, but this is a little ridiculous. Okay, so anyway, this week is a pretty much normal week. I don't really have anything extra this week except for the fact that I do have a Michael's class tomorrow. So make sure that if you want to come to the Michael's class, you set your reminders for that. It's completely free. You go over to the Michael's website and you just sign up, and they'll send you an email reminder to let you know right before class starts, so you won't miss anything. But first and foremost, it's completely free. They do have premium pay for classes over on the Michael's YouTube channel, on the Michael's website. But all of my classes so far have been free, and I'm hoping to keep it that way. So just know that you don't have to pay to hang out with me. You don't got to pay to play. Let's see, what else do I have going on? So like I said, this week's is just normal. I've got a project today featuring the bargain bead box for July, which is absolutely beautiful. I love it. And it's a pretty easy project. I'm kind of just like getting my feet wet, getting back into the groove of things because, you know, up until a few days ago, I still wasn't feeling super great. So we've got an easy bracelet project featuring bargain bead box. I'm going to show you all the goodies that are in it. I've got Michael's class tomorrow. Friday is our Feel Good Friday show. I'm already working on kits for the Feel Good Friday show. And I got to tell you guys, while I was sick with the big C, Sam and Danielle both sent me boxes of goodies. So I have so much inspiration. Like, this room looks like it exploded. There is beady, wonderful goodness everywhere. And the kits this week are so pretty. They're so pretty. So be sure to set your reminders for our Feel Good Friday show, because you don't want to miss these kits. They're amazing. Let's see. But now let's talk about next week, because next week, and I will talk about next week again on Friday. But I want to talk about it here just so that maybe if you need to plan ahead, you can. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my birthday is next week. Not only is my birthday next week, but I share a birthday month with Sam and with Neela. In fact, Neela's birthday, I believe, is the day before mine. It's either the 17th or the 18th. I'm pretty sure it's the 18th. Like, I think we're just a day apart. But because of that, because I share a birthday month with two of my favorite people, we're actually getting together. And our next Tuesday live, which will be on my actual birthday, it won't just be me here on Tuesday. It'll be me, Sam, and Neela. So you're getting all three of us to celebrate our birthdays next Tuesday. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time. So same time, same place as right now. But it won't just be me. Okay. It'll be me and Neela and Sam. So you know it's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about Sam's bead box. We're going to be talking about Silver Silk. And we're just going to be hanging out and having a good time and celebrating each other, because we love each other. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one. Don't know what else is coming next week, though. I'm one of those those people who I tend to party all week when it comes to my birthday. So I don't know what other things are coming up, but I'm thinking about doing maybe a birthday giveaway. I'll let you know for sure, though. I'll keep you posted on that one. Also want to mention, right before we get into things, I'm so sorry. Like, now it's starting to grate on my nerves. I'm so sorry. Please be quiet. I wish that worked. It does not. It does not. One thing I want to mention is, I don't know if you guys remember, but not last Friday, but Friday before last, and I'm talking 2 Fridays back because last Friday I wasn't here. We did a 2 truths and 1 lie, or no, 2 lies and 1 truth. Do you remember that? I'm going to tell you who won that this Friday. I completely forgot to tell you the following Friday, so I'm going to tell you what those 2 truths and 1 lie. Is that how it went? I don't even remember at this point. I'm going to tell you who won, and I'm going to tell you what the truths were and what the lies were, okay? We'll do that on Friday. Yeah, Susie says, did you ever reveal the 3 truths and a lie, or the 2 truths and a lie? I don't even remember what it was. No, I didn't reveal that. I had 7 winners. I have all their names written down, and they've already gotten their prizes and stuff, but I never told it to you guys. So I'm going to do that on Friday. Don't let me forget. Okay. Oh, everybody that has dogs, their dogs are barking at my dogs. Myra says, maybe give them treats. I wish that worked. It's just because there are workers outside. Like, nothing that I can do is going to distract them. They just know that there are people outside and they can't get to them. So I don't know. 1 lie and 2 truths. That's what it was. That's right. That's right. And Karen, you were one of our winners. All right. So let's get to it. Okay. So July is one of my favorite months, of course, because it's my birthday, and because it's Neely's birthday, it's Sam's birthday. Everybody's got birthdays in July. But this also tends to be a month when companies and beady friends all tend to get very beach inspired. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I absolutely adore beach jewelry. Like, I love it. I don't ever wear it, but I love beach coastal themed jewelry, findings, charms, all of that stuff. Like, there's just something about it that I absolutely adore. So when I got this month's Bargain Bead Box, I was so excited because that's what this one is all about. It's so pretty. So I'm going to turn you around. We're going to go through the beads really quick, and then we're going to put together a fun little project. It's just a bracelet. It's not super hard. We're just doing some simple wire wrapping, but it just goes back to the thing that I always tell you. Beautiful jewelry does not have to be hard. And I love this bracelet. It's a bracelet I would wear. So I hope you guys like it. I'm going to turn you around, and we're going to get to it. I've done a lot of talking, but we needed to catch up, right? It's been a while since we've seen each other. So we needed to catch up. Okay. So Bargain Bead Box for this month is, the theme was Coastal Breeze. And there are some beads that are missing from this that I am using in our project. So if you don't see everything here, that's why some of it is off to the side. Now I'm going to do this really quickly. Okay. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time going through the beads so that we can get through the project. But I want to show you, Bargain Bead Box is one of my favorite monthly subscriptions. Bargain Bead Box and Sam's Bead Box are my 2 favorites. For 2 very different reasons. The price point on this one is very, very economical. It's always a really awesome theme. And of course, you can reshop with them. If you are subscribed, you can use their sister site. You get a monthly coupon. It's just good stuff. So this month's theme, like I said, is Coastal Breeze. So everything in this is beachy fun. Look at this Starfish pendant. Makes me so happy. It's big, it's large, it's in charge. I love it. And this is not the only starfish that's included. So let me grab the rest of them so you can see them. So I love this month. They included lots of metal, where I think that last month it was kind of missing some of the metals. We talked about last month. The color was gorgeous, but there just wasn't the same amount of metal stuff. This month, I think they are back with a vengeance. So these are beads. They're drilled, right? So it's not just a charm, it's an actual bead, which I love, these little starfishes. And then there are a couple of starfish charms. I love those as well. And then this whole little baggie here, these are super cool. These are so cool. Look at this. Look, it's a connector. It's not just a charm. It's got 2 loops on it, which I think makes this extra special. So it's a little shell and a starfish, but the connectors, loops, I love that. I love that because it's so unexpected. I just assumed, oh, it's just going to be a charm. Honestly, when I opened it up, I thought it was a bag of shell and starfish charms. I didn't realize that they were together. So you got a whole little baggie of these. There's a bunch of them. I love them. I think they're super, super cute. We're going to use one in our bracelet. So there are those. Let's just continue going through all the metal. So there's 2 toggles. One of them we're going to use in our bracelet, so it's not here. There's a toggle clasp. There are 2 toggle clasps. There are some bead caps. Bead caps is one of my favorite things to get from Bargain Bead Box, so I love it when there are bead caps. We're using some of these as well. There's also, let's see here. There's also some chain. And we're going to use some of the chain too. They almost always include chain, which I appreciate because it's always chain that matches, you know, and sometimes I struggle with that. Like sometimes the metals are just not quite the same, but so this is all of the metal in the box. That's already a lot, guys. And keep in mind, Bargain Bead Box is less than $20 a month. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these things and you're thinking about like what the cost would be to shop for these things individually. Okay. All right. So scoot the metal over. We're going to look at the beads. So one other metal thing in here, this is probably my favorite bead in this box, are these electroplated lava beads. And I love these because they're not round. First of all, I love lava beads. I love electroplated beads. I adore these because their shape is so different from everything else that I'm used to with the lava beads. And you can tell like they definitely are coated because you can see on the tops the black underneath. Are these not super cool? I just think they're really awesome. So it is a bead. It is lava. It is electric. Like it's checking all the boxes for me. And that unusual shape for a lava bead, I just think these are super cool. They're going to make great spacers, or they're going to look really good all by themselves with maybe just like a pop of color in between each one of them. That shape really lends itself to wearability. Like they're very comfortable to wear. I just think they're super cool. And that's my favorite bead in the box. All right, so other things that are in the box that are awesome. These little sparkly guys, I love those. They have that AB finish to them. Really, really beautiful. I love that there are a ton of these. This size is one of my favorites, and this is definitely a bead that I have a tendency to reorder with Bargain Bead Box on their sister site, Bead Box Bargains. This size just lends itself to a lot of different things, so one of my favorites. There are these beautiful white beads. So these are polished seashell round beads. They're very pretty. I don't have a lot of white beads in my stash. So anytime I get white, I'm pretty excited about it because I just don't have a lot of it. And I feel like it's a great color to use in jewelry making. These are probably my second favorite bead in here. These are these, they're agate cubes, and they're a little irregular, which I think makes them super cool. We're going to use some of these. You can see some of them are missing. We're going to use some of these in our bracelet project. I love these. I think they're super cool. Okay, these seashell, I'll just drop something in the floor. Mother of pearl shell beads. It doesn't get more beachy than that. They're so cool. I love those. There are some more mother of shell. I'm sorry, these are freshwater shell beads in pink. These have been dyed. They're so pretty. And they have that kind of three-dimensional shimmer to them. It makes them look like they really have some otherworldliness, if you will, going on. Really pretty. And I'm not a pink person, but that pop of pink in this is just super cool. So there's another pop of pink in this. There are some acrylic scallop beads. I love these. I think these are super cool. These are very, very trendy right now. I know there are a lot of you out there who shy away from acrylic just because you like acrylic tends to get a bad reputation just because honestly, acrylic is just a fancy way of saying plastic. But here's the thing, even super duper high-end jewelry makers are mixing acrylic into their work right now and have been for about a year and a half, about 18 months. Acrylic has been really trending, and particularly when you mix it with like mother of pearl, or freshwater pearls. Acrylic, it has its own place in the industry. It really does. So don't be shying away from acrylic anymore. Like you're seeing this more and more, like the letter beads, just really fun, like pony beads. They're showing up everywhere. So if you don't love them, you're going to need to learn how to embrace them, because I'm telling you, they're not going away anytime soon. All right, some Lampwork glass Nautilus beads. I think these are super cool. Bargain Bead Box has included Lampwork beads in the past, and I love them. I mean, they're always special. Each one of them is always different. I think they're super, super cool. Love those. All right, these are two-tone agate oval beads. I think these are probably the most interesting bead in the entire box, simply because I'm not entirely sure what to do with them. It's an oval shape, which I use frequently, but they're so large. I'm not sure what to do with them, but I feel like earrings, obviously, since there's two of them. I just don't know. So if you've got these and you've made something with them, will you post so we can see? Because I'm really curious as to what everybody else is doing with that shape. All right, couple of other things. There are some other mother of pearl shell things in here. There is one of these shells that I'm using. There were two of these. One of them is being used in the hardwired project later today. This one is a little tiny baby one that's actually in there were two of these. One of them is going to be used in our bracelet. And then we have the blues that are my favorites. So these are just some turquoise crystal round beads. They're beautiful. That color is, you can't do beach jewelry without this color. So loving that. The Starfish, I love these. I have some of these in my own stash, and I probably will reorder these just because I really, really like them. These are super cool. I like to mix these with hemp or cotton cord, but you can use them with absolutely anything. I just think they're fun. They're whimsical. They're cool. And then last but not least are these melon beads. And this is probably number 3 of my favorite out of the box. And I wish that I had a whole strand of these. I'll probably reorder them. They're just really cool. I love melon beads in general, just because I love the texture of them, but these are really big ones. And I just think they're super cool. We're going to use one of these in our bracelet as well. So just kind of giving you an overall look. Like, this is a lot of stuff here, and you got to remember the price point is part of what makes Bargain Bead Box so awesome. Less than $20. You could not buy these things individually for that. I'm just saying. I've tried. You just can't. Particularly when it comes to the metal stuff, you cannot repurchase all of these things individually and do it for less than $20. The other thing about it is it's always curated, so there's always a theme, which is great. You all of the guesswork's done for you. You just get to open it up and enjoy all the beady goodness that's in there, and it all works together. My other favorite thing about Bargain Bead Box is the fact that you have access to Bead Box Bargains, which is their sister site, where you can reorder all of the things that are included in the box if you want to, but they also have a huge supply, or a huge, what's the word I'm looking for? I have a huge inventory of other things. And it's a great place for somebody like me who I don't have a wholesale license, but I like to buy in bulk because I make kits and stuff. They're a great place if you want to stock up and like bulk up on things, particularly things like bead caps and metal beads. It's a great place to buy these in bulk and not spend an absolute fortune. Plus the fact that every month you get a 30% off coupon, which you can also apply to that order. So that brings the price way, way down and just makes it a really overall great place to shop for beads. And also their customer service is top notch. Like, the team at the Bargain Bead Box, they really, really care about their customers. And that for me goes well beyond what their materials and inventory is. All right, so we're going to put together a bracelet. We're just putting together an easy little bracelet, nothing super hard. Just like I said, we're just kind of getting back into the groove of things. So I've pulled out some of the beads and some of the chain. We're going to do an asymmetrical style bracelet. And yeah, Patty says you can shop their sister store without having a box membership. You can, but you don't get that nice 30% off discount to apply to it, which is really nice. All right, so I'm using some of these agate cubes, which I absolutely love. I just think these are super cool. So we're going to make an asymmetrical bracelet. We're going to cut our own pieces of wire. We're going to wire wrap these and make a little beaded chain out of them. Okay. And we're going to bring that to, let's see here. We're going to put a toggle, because remember the toggle. We're going to put the toggle on one end of this. And our toggle ring technically will go down here as well. Okay. So we've got all of this. Then we're going to bring in a large jump ring. This is going to be kind of like our center point of our bracelet. From this, we're going to hang one of our little mother of pearl shell charms. One of these super cute ones. Okay. And then two of these little crystals. So this is going to be like the focal, okay, for our bracelet. After that, we're going to use one of our melon beads with a couple of bead caps on either side. And some more of these little crystal babies. Okay. I know it doesn't look like much when I'm laying it out. All right. Then I cut some of the chain because I wanted to make up the length. And so we're going to take 4 pieces of the chain. And we're going to just make like a, I don't know why I laid it out in my hand like that. We're going to do the rest of this is just going to be like 4 pieces of chain. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, but we're going to do all this together, and I promise it's going to come together, and it's going to look really good. And just a handful of jump rings in a couple of different sizes. I've got 2 6mm, a 5mm, and 2 3mm, or I'm sorry, 4mm jump rings. Just use whatever you've got. You don't have to. I've got 2 head pins for our little dangles that we're going to hang from this. And then the rest of this, I'm actually going to cut myself some 22 gauge German style wire. And I haven't pre-cut it. We're going to do all this together because it's a pretty short project. So I figured we just use this time together. Okay. But I'm using the 22 gauge German style wire. This is my favorite wire for wire wrapping. If you need German style wire, there are 2 places you can go. You can head on over to Beadalon.com and grab some, or you can head over to Sam's Bead Shop and grab some German style wire. He's recently started stocking German style wire in his shop, and another great place to kind of one-stop shop because you can grab your wire and you can grab your beads as well. It's my favorite. 22 gauge is what I'm using. So I'm going to cut some pieces of this. They don't have to be super long. 3 inches is pretty much all you're going to need, but I always overcut because that's just kind of the way I am. But we're going to do our own little wrapped loops. Okay. So cut yourself a piece of the 22 gauge wire. We're going to come down on the wire with our chain nose pliers. We're going to come down about an inch, inch and a half, and we're going to give the wire a bend. So we're making like a backward 7 with our wire. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers and place that wire so it's running between the barrel of the pliers. So we're going to take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers to make our loop. Now, we can't get that wire all the way over here because this bottom barrel is in the way. So we're just going to rotate the pliers in our hand. Making that bottom barrel the top barrel gives us the opportunity to go ahead and take that wire all the way over to close up our loop without taking all of this off of the tool. Okay. Now, underneath that loop that we just made, we're going to use that short piece of wire that's left to do our wire wraps. I'm going to do about 3 wire wraps. So basically we've made ourselves an eye pin with a wrapped loop. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off the excess. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take one of my agate beads, my little cubes, and just thread that on. And we're going to repeat this process to make a wrapped loop on the opposite side. So I'm grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead, and I'm going to bend the wire over the top of the pliers. Bending over the top of the pliers means that when I take the pliers away, that measurement for the wire wraps is already done for me. I don't have to pre-measure. I don't have to use a ruler. I just bend over the top of the tool and I've got enough room for my wire wraps. So I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers again. We're taking that wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Rotate those pliers so you can take that wire all the way over to the other side. And then you just want to wire wrap in that space between the loop you just made and the top of your bead. And we're going to do that a few more times. So if you need practice on your wrapped loops, this is going to be a good project for that. Okay, so then I'm just going to come in with my cutter tool and I'm going to trim off any of the excess wire. Trim as close as you possibly can. If you can't get in there super close, come in with your pliers and just kind of tuck in whatever's left where you cut. Okay, so we've got a little beaded connector here. Basically, it's got a loop on both sides, so that means that we've got connection points where we can do any number of things. We can add a jump ring here, a charm here, an ear wire, and the same here. But we're making a beaded chain out of ours, so we're just going to continue beading exactly like this. We're just going to bead the next one or wrap the next one directly to this. So I'm going to start my wire wrapped loop again with another piece of wire. Okay, bending the wire, coming in with round nose pliers. We're going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side. Now, before I do my wire wrapping though, I do need to take this off of the tool, and I'm going to take the tail end of that wire and I'm going to stick it through one of the loops. It doesn't matter which one, just pick one, through the loop from the previous bead and just snap those two together. So we're not using a jump ring here. If you want to use a jump ring, you absolutely can, but if you'll wire wrap them directly to each other, then you know they're not going to come undone. Whereas with a jump ring, sometimes you kind of risk having a jump ring open up on you. Jump rings are pretty strong though. I don't always worry about it, but sometimes I prefer just wire wrapping. So now I'm going to proceed with my wire wraps. So about 3 wire wraps. Again, we've just made ourselves a wrapped loop. And we're going to cut off the excess. Okay, now we're ready to add our bead to this. So we're going to thread on our bead, and then we're going to make another wrapped loop. So we're going to do all of these together. A lot of times I'll pre-wire wrap some of these. Not today. We're going to do every step of this all together. Okay, so bending the wire over the top of the pliers. Round nose pliers are coming in, up and over. Rotate, take the wire over to the other side. And then wire wrap. Okay, so we just wire wrapped 2 beads together. We're just making ourselves a little chain here. We've got 3 more of these to go. I'm going to go ahead and pre-cut 3 pieces of the wire. I cannot wait for you guys to see the kits for our Feel Good Friday show. I've got some absolutely gorgeous beads from both Sam and Danielle. And Danielle sent some check glass buttons that are absolutely stunning. They have dragonflies on them. I can't wait. It's going to be a great show on Friday. So don't miss out on Friday. Set your reminders. All right, we're just going to proceed like normal, just like we've been doing. We're making our own little wrapped loop eye pins. Okay, and then the next one, before we wire wrap, we're going to take the tail, thread it through the last bead we added. Evelyn says hers come out wonky. This is a great project for practicing your wrapped loops, for sure. Anytime you're making a beaded chain with wrapped loops, it's a really great way to practice. And the cool thing is that even when they come out wonky, because the way the chain goes together, nobody really will notice. So you can really kind of let yourself off the hook, you know, you don't have to worry, and just do one at a time, you know, and repeat, and you'll see. You start out with the first one might be a little wonky, but when you get to bead number 5, they're probably going to be looking pretty good. All right, so I'm just going to keep going. You can do your wire wrapping with your finger if you want to, or use your tool. You know, use your pliers to hold on to the wire. For me, it just kind of depends. I prefer to use my pliers to do that, but sometimes when I get in a hurry, I don't want to pick up the pliers. Oh, Colleen says that her Sam Speed box is out for delivery. I'm super excited to get mine. I cannot wait. I'm telling you, my bargain bead box and my Sam's bead box, those are the two things I look forward to every month. There are other bead boxes out there, guys. There are. But in my opinion, these two are the very best. Oh, you're welcome, Evelyn. I know that the only way to get those wrapped loops to look better is just practice them. And, you know, and not only is it to practice them, but to, just like I said, not sweat the small stuff. Be able to give yourself grace and realize that not every one of them is going to turn out perfectly, and that's okay, because a lot of times once the jewelry is put together, it's just those little details that nobody else is going to notice. Will it drive you crazy and keep you up at night? It might. But nobody else is going to notice it. Nobody at all. All right, we've got one more cute bead to put in this. Now, the cool thing about this bracelet project is I've picked out like the beads that I wanted to use for this, because honestly, I'm making this bracelet for myself. So that's why I picked what I picked. But you could use any of the beads from the box and make this exact same design, and it's going to look totally different if you use different beads. But it will work with any of the beads. All right, so snap those two together. I like to hold on to my wrapped loops with my bent chain nose pliers. See how the pliers stay out of the way? To me, it just makes it so much easier to get in there and do those wraps with the bent chain nose pliers. Not only that, but I can kind of cup the work and the pliers in my hand to keep it from falling down here and getting in the way when I'm doing my wire wrapping. And yes, you can do that with your regular pliers too, but the bent chain nose pliers, just, you know, the tip of them stays out of the way. They're placed at such a perfect angle to do that comfortably. All right, so one more of our cube beads. All right, so it's our last little wraps loop for this. So up and over, rotate the pliers to take the wire over to the other side. And then I'll wire wrap in the space between the loop we made and the top of the bead. So somebody was asking about my pliers. Let me show you my pliers. So there's our little, first of all, here's our little beaded chain. So I used 5 of those agate cubes and just wire wrap them all together. Okay, so that's going to be one side of our bracelet. So my pliers, you guys, I use the sparkle chain nose pliers from Beadalon. They're the ones with the blue sparkly handle. And if you look them up on the Beadalon site, they're called Sparkle Chain Nose, or just Sparkle Tools. But I start out with my regular just chain nose pliers. Part of the reason I like these so much is because the tip of them is so small. They're not, I don't know, they're not big and bulky. I feel like I can get really tiny bends in the wire with these. So I've got these. Then I have the bent chain nose version that I use, and then the round nose version. The round nose are my absolute favorite because they really are tiny at the top. I mean, not super tiny. There are smaller round nose pliers in the world, but these are pretty small. So I can make a pretty small little loop with these, and I do tend to make my loops pretty small. But the one thing that I love about these tools the most is the fact that they fit my hands. So if you've got smaller hands, this is a great pair of pliers, and they last forever. Like, I'm not even kidding. The blue handled ones will last forever. I've had these, I can't even tell you how long I've had them, and I use them every single day in everything that I do. For me, these are easier for me to hold than these with the big, like, there's nothing wrong with these. These are the ergonomic pliers from Beadalon, and that's great. If you've got a bigger hand, that's wonderful. But for me, it's just too much. Like, the handles are just too much. So I really kind of prefer the small ones. But that's just me. There's also a cutter tool and a flat nose version of these as well. But these are the three that I use every single day. And then as far as my cutter tool is concerned, I use my my Italian flush cutter. It's a Beadalon tool. It's the one with the blue handle. It makes a flush cut in the wire when you cut on the flush on the side that's nice and flat. They will last you forever if you take really good care of them. But that's the key, is you do have to take care of them. They're a little bit more pricey than some of the other cutters that are available, but worth every penny if you take care of them. And by that, I mean, you don't want to cut like super thick gauged wire with them. You certainly don't want to cut anything other than hard wire with this. You don't want to cut leather or heaven forbid memory wire or stainless steel. Don't do it. You'll crack the blades on them, but they do last forever if you're good to them. All right, so moving on here, we've got this part of our bracelet is ready to go. Okay, we're going to attach our toggle bar to that end. We're going to move on. So our middle portion of this is going to be, remember I said we're going to attach to a large jump ring. From that large jump ring, we are going to hang a couple of things here. We're going to hang one of our little mother of pearl shell beads, and then our little charm. Our charm, since it has 2 loops on it, I have the opportunity to add dangles to this. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got 2 head pins, and I'm going to wire wrap 2 of these little crystals directly to that loop. So thread on a crystal. We're going to start a wrapped loop. Okay, we're going to bend the wire over the top of the pliers. Now, coming in with my round nose pliers, up and over, rotate the pliers, take the wire over to the other side. Now, before I attach this, I'm going to open that loop up just a little bit. So I'm going to treat it like a jump ring and just kind of twist just slightly. See how I've opened that loop? It's just going to make it a little bit easier to slide this over the loop on the charm. Okay. Because I'm working in a really small space here. So whatever I can do to make it a little bit easier. Now, coming in with my bent chain nose pliers to hold on to that loop. And then I'm going to wire wrap. Just like so. And then I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off. Jennifer says she loves the dangles. You know how I am about dangles. I gotta add dangles to everything. I just can't help myself. But I mean, I feel like that's part of being a jewelry lover. Like, you know, like I think we all kind of deep down love a good dangle, especially a sparkly one. Maybe not everybody, but all right, we're gonna do a second one. Okay. Round nose pliers. Take the wire up and over. Wire around, and then again just slightly with my chain nose pliers, I'm going to open that up and I'm going to thread that on right next to the one we just added. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to wire wrap. Just be careful with these little crystals when you, not just when you're wire wrapping, you definitely don't want to over wire wrap because you might crack the top of it, but particularly when you come in with your cutter tool to trim off the excess wire, be really careful because you can very easily grab a hold of one of the facets, just the tip of the facet of the bead, and you can crack your bead. So you got to be really careful. Same thing goes when you come in to kind of clean up your wire. Just be sure that you're not accidentally cracking that wire. So now we've got 2 little dangles here on our little charm, which just adds a little extra to it. And I'm going to use 2 of these down here. I'm trying to remember where all my jump rings go. These 2 for the chain. That means these are the ones I'm going to use here. All right, so I'm going to open up a jump ring and I'm going to thread that on to the top of our little charm here. And I'm going to go ahead and close that back. Open up a second jump ring. Okay, and then I'm going to close that back. Now, I'm going to just sit these to the side for a second. They're going to attach to this, but I want to go ahead and do the rest of this, and then we're going to assemble everything. So now, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but we've got this melon bead and 2 more of these little crystals. We're going to do 1 more wrapped loop. This one's going to sit on the opposite side of our jump ring. So another piece of the 22 gauge wire, about 3 inches is all you need. Come down, bend your wire. I like to use like 22 gauge, 21 gauge when it comes to my head pins. Okay, up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and we're going to go ahead and wire wrap. So we're basically, again, just making ourselves an eye pin with a wrapped loop. All right, now I'm going to thread on one of my little crystals. I'm going to thread on a bead cap, our melon bead. Look how pretty that's going to look. Another bead cap and a melon, or I'm sorry, not a melon, a little crystal. Look how pretty that is. Now that's pretty all by itself, right? Stick an ear wire on that. Put this on a head pin, wire wrap it, put an ear wire. Like that's a beautiful little earring. Like I need the matching set of the earrings. I have enough beads left over to do that, to make some earrings that go with this bracelet. Doesn't have to be hard. Stack up beautiful beads and you've done all the work, right? Beautiful jewelry does not have to be complicated, nor does it have to be a representation of every skill you've ever learned. I will continue to say that for as long as I am a jewelry designer. So our wrapped loop there, and come in and trim off. All right, so this little baby is going to go right there. That pop of blue. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so now I've got 4 pieces of chain that are all cut the same length. My pieces, just going to give you a quick little measurement here, are about 2.5 inches long each. You can really kind of adjust depending on how long you need your bracelet to be. This is a good area to make your sizing adjustments. But I'm going to open up a jump ring and I'm going to thread on each one of my pieces of chain. You don't have to do 4. You can do 2. You can do just a single one and add charms to each link if you want to. Like you've got lots of options, but I'm going to do 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this to our bead. Close this back. And now I'm going to put another jump ring down here on the other end. Oh my goodness. Back at it again with the marking. Okay. So each one of my chain ends. Okay. And then before I close that, I'm going to go ahead and attach the toggle ring. And this will be one end of our bracelet. Just make sure you're getting really good closures on your jump ring so nothing sneaks out on you. Okay, so that's one side of our bracelet. It's going to come to this point. So we're going to go ahead and open up this large jump ring, right? Our jump rings, we always open with a twist, right? We don't pull them apart. We just twist them to open them. We're going to thread on our bead, and then we're going to thread on our charms. Now you can reconfigure this. If you want your charms to be at the back where your clasp is, you don't have to put this right here in the middle if you don't want to, right? And then we're going to thread on the end of our beaded chain. Close that back. And you can see how things are starting to come together now. We're going to put our toggle ring, or our toggle bar rather. I'm using 2 4mm jump rings as our connectors for our toggle bar. And the reason I do that is because I've got kind of a bulky bead here. Sometimes with toggles, you have to give yourself a little extra room so that you can actually get the toggle bar in there. They always fit, but sometimes there's just not enough wiggle room. I'll show you what I mean here in just a second, but put a 4mm jump ring on there. Go ahead and close that back. and then a second 4mm jump ring. This just gives us a little extra length between the actual toggle and the beaded strand. So then that way, when you go to put the toggle bar through the ring, you can put it through and pull out. See how much room I've got there? And then it'll sit pretty. And that bead is not up underneath the edge. It's not up against the edge of the ring. But also I'm not struggling against that bead, right, to pull my toggle bar into the ring. So it's just little things like that. That addition of one extra jump ring right there is just enough to make this a little bit easier to put on when you go to put your bracelet on. And that's it. Like, that's all there is to this little bracelet design. It's super cute, trendy, asymmetrical little design, and very, very beachy, but lightweight. Chain is one of those things that I don't particularly like to wear in the summertime because it gets hot. But when I use it in short sections like this, it's more breathable. It's a whole lot better to wear like short little sections of chain than like some big chunky chain this time of year. I don't know about you, but the metal just makes me sweat like crazy. So I still want to have that metal in my design. It's just not the entire design, right? So this is a cool way to kind of break it up, still get the funkiness of the chain, but I still have the breathability that I need for the hot weather. And it's also trendy because asymmetrical jewelry is never going to not be trendy. I mean, that's just part of jewelry design. So yeah, Simple as Joy says, this gave me a great idea for fall. This design in particular, you can reconfigure so many different ways. Put your charms back here at the back. You can do like, you know, just go all the way around. You can put your chain in the center if you want to, and then changing up your beads. You don't have to use these ocean themed beads. You can use fall colors. You can use Christmas colors. Like, this design is so versatile. You can use it in so many different ways. And it also, I don't know if you've thought about it yet or not, but it also makes a really cool center of an asymmetrical necklace, right? So this can be your focal. Forget the toggle. Bead up the rest of it and turn it into a necklace if you wanted to, or put more chain on it to add length to it. Makes a really cool design that way as well. Also makes a great anklet if you're into ankle jewelry. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna turn you guys around. Let's see, where are my settings? It'll take me a minute to get back in the swing of things. A week is a long time to be gone. Like, a really, really long time. Cindy said, missed you, Red. Thanks. Missed you too. Oh, Suzanne says, I need some white jewelry. See, that's the way I feel too. I don't have enough white beads in my stash. So when I get white beads, I never shop for them either. And I don't know why. Because when I get them, I'm really excited about them. It goes with everything. Obviously, it's white. It goes with everything. It's classic. You can mix it with black. You can mix it with anything. I just said that like 6 times. Yeah. I've been gone too long. Oh my gosh. You guys, I hope you have enjoyed this project. It wasn't a hard one, but after being sick for a week, I kind of just needed to like just ease myself back into it. And you know, it, just like I have said a million times today and a million times more, I will say, does not have to be complicated to be pretty. And sometimes those asymmetrical styles, you know, a couple of wrapped loops. If you're not feeling the wrapped loops, substitute every single one of those wrapped loops for an eye pin and just save yourself some time. You don't have to do it exactly the same way that I did it, but that whole little setup is going to work with no matter what kind of beads you use. So, oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Donna. Oh my goodness. Janelda said, it's so good to hear you laugh. I missed it. It's so good to laugh. Like, I did laugh last week, but it was more like a laugh cough thing. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling good. I'm finally getting like some energy back. I will be honest with you. I'm not 100%. I'm just not. I know you can still hear there's a little bit of congestion. By the end of the day yesterday, I worked all day yesterday, which is the first day back for me. I worked all day yesterday, and by about 8 o'clock last night, I was done. I was toast. I was Like I was so tired. So it really kind of has been an energy zap for me for sure. But I have bounced back. I've bounced back well. And fortunately, everybody else in my house that has had it has bounced back very well too. So I'm very, very thankful. So for any of you that are out there that have got the Rona, anybody out there who's going through it, you'll bounce back. I promise. I promise. Yeah, I was a little scared, not gonna lie. That's not one of those things you want to hear from the doctor. But I got the antivirals and I think that helped. But now my son, he didn't. Q didn't get antivirals either. And I don't think Sam did either. And we all kind of healed up right around the same time frame. So, you know. Thank you, everybody. I missed you guys so, so much. And I'm really happy to be back. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for letting me take last week off. I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna go. Just a quick reminder before I go for the rest of the day, though. Hardwired group, we're meeting at 4 p.m. We're putting together a fun little revisited project, and this one's got some a really beautiful pendant from this bargain bead box included in it. It's going to be super pretty. Can't wait to do that with you guys. Don't forget, tomorrow, Wednesday's Michael's class. You can sign up for that. It's completely free. We're putting together a goddess bracelet using memory wire. I'll show it to you. A little sneaky peeky. Putting together a really beautiful goddess bracelet, and it's a cuff because it's made out of memory wire. So this is what our Michael's project is for tomorrow. If you want to come hang out for the Michael's class, it is 100% free. And then we've got our Feel Good Friday show. I would give you a teaser, but I'm not going to. Just know that I've got some gorgeous beads and I cannot wait to show them to you. These kits this week are amazing. So come set your reminders, be here for Feel Good Friday. Don't forget, next week is my birthday, Nilay's birthday. We're all getting together with Sam on Tuesday. It's going to be so much fun. Looking forward to that, right? Birthday week. I don't just birthday for one day. I do it for a whole week because I'm a pretty princess. I don't know. I kind of am. I mean, I'm definitely a princess. Okay, I'm going to go now. I love you guys so much. I missed you. I'm so glad that you're back with me. I'm so glad that I'm back with you. I will see you guys, okay, on Friday. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your afternoon. Hardwired group. I'll see you in a couple hours, okay? I love you guys. Bye.